Welcome back to Where Blades Walk. We're nearly there, and this week we're talking about who should be the starting 11 for the playoff games. We're talking briefly about Blackburn and how we swept Stoke aside. What are our summer wishes in terms of kits? More on that in a minute. And what's the best home game you've seen at Bramall Lane this season? Lots to get through. We've got, of course, Dan and Shex back with us. Connor is still away on holiday. So how are we doing, fellas? All good, I hope?
Yes, I'm good.
Just going through the motions a bit, aren't we? With Stoke and Blackburn, we just want to get this Blackburn game out of the way, and then off we head to the playoffs. Right, Shax, what impressed you about the Stoke game? Two up tops working.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, it was something different. It's not something that we're used to seeing. Just shows that we've got like another way to win games. I weren't blown away by that performance. I'm not going to lie. I thought Stoke were really poor, and considering we've played some of them teams down there like Oxford, Plymouth, I thought they were both far better than Stoke. I thought they just I don't know, they just weren't very good, but we took advantage of it. It was nice to see Kiefer Moore playing. I've rated Kiefer Moore anyway. I think he's decent, but it was nice to see him playing well. I thought he put a great shift in. Yeah. Brewster, I thought Brewster put a shift in. And it was just nice to see a couple of players rested and all. I think that's key moving forward.
Absolutely. So look, Jack says solid performance, Blades. Hopefully built a bit of confidence in the group again, despite the efforts of shocking officials and a horrible Stoke side. Much better with two up front. Do you agree, Dan?
I do, yeah. I think it worked a lot better against Burnley as well. I think it's something that it might adopt going into the playoffs. It was a decent performance, one where they actually looked like they'd had the shackles taken off a little bit, and it was nice to see one or two other players come in, like Andre Brooks come in and get himself a goal, and just have a few fresh faces in there as well, which is what we've needed. But I think it is important going into the playoffs that we are still winning. When I look at Sunderland, going to carry that form into playoffs. They've not had a good run really recently, so I think it's important that we carry it on and just do that as well. It's good that Blackburn's got something to come and play for next week as well, because it gives us the reason to go and try and get into 90 points.
Yeah, they're competitive, of course. And Sunderland at the bottom of the form table, which is ridiculous given their position in the league. Rob Holding, Shaq's got man of the match, according to the official club man of the match. Lots of people shouting him out. Holding and Chowdhury, absolute class. Chowdhury, for me, just says about Holding, class player. God knows what Robinson has over Wilder. He must start for the playoffs. Get loyalty out the window, Chris Wilder, and start your strongest side. Right, let's segue nicely into our main topic then this week. We're picking our 11 that should start the playoffs. Let's go for defence, shall we, Shax? I mean, goalkeeper picks itself, but back four for you should be what?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd go left back. I'd go. Oh God, I like McCallum, and I'm not overly fussed on Burrows, if I'm honest. But I'd go McCallum left back. I mean, he's not probably going to get slaughtered for that, but I just think McCallum's a bit more stealer. His thing with McCallum is his delivery is nowhere. If you could mould him and Burrows together, they'd be perfect. But I think McCallum's just got a bit more. He's a bit more a man. He's a bit more. He's filled out a bit more. I think Burrows has been found out a couple of times defensively. But is that because he's trying to cover for Jack Robinson all the time? I'm not so sure. So I'd go McCallum at left back. Right back, I'd go Femi Sirika. I think we do play better when he plays. There's no denying it. I like Gilchrist. Obviously, Clark's injured, but I'd go him, and I'd put Chowdhury back into the middle. So it'd be Siriki right back, McCallum left back, centre halves. I'd stick with Robinson and Anel. I know that's going to sound crazy, but Rob Holding's not played enough football for me. Yeah, he was brilliant the other night. If he plays against Blackburn and he has a cracker, then maybe there's a bit more an argument to chuck him in. But Jack Robinson did no wrong the other night. You can't. Anel's obviously been rested, and I don't think Jack Robinson's done enough wrong to be dropped completely. He's club captain. People only pick his mistakes. we've got a cracking defence. We've got 91 points. He's been part of that. You can't just start saying chuck him aside. When there's not really an alternative. It is. Dan might know he's holding even a left-sided centre back. I don't think he is. I think he's a right-sided one way and else. So them two would be switching up like they did overnight. I don't think either of them comes in for Robinson for me.
Okay. Right, Dan. First of all, do you agree with that? And then can I give you the central midfield?
Yeah, I think I think I'd probably go Burrows. I'd go with the two centre halves that Shax has said. My right back's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, going on to midfield, I would have. It's a tough one because for me, I'd love to have Femi in there. I just think at the minute, going into two key games, I'd probably have Chowdhury in there, and then my midfield players would be Souza and Peck as my two players. Well, if that's how he wants to go, it might be four. Yeah, Souza, Peck, Gustavo Amer, and brereton-diaz across the four-man midfield.
Okay. And then Shax, again, agree with that midfield or disagree? And then obviously up front.
Yeah, I agree with that midfield. Yeah, I would go with 4-4-2, but it wouldn't be brereton-diaz. I'd go with Raksaki or Brooks. I don't think brereton-diaz has looked. He's chipped in with a couple of goals. Something don't look right to him with me. I think when he were on left, when we had him first time, I thought it was brilliant, but this time up right, it's not worked for me.
I think Raksaki and home brereton-diaz in a way, because I think defensively brereton-diaz is, away from home when you're under it is better option. But home, definitely Raksaki.
I'd go along with that, yeah.
Right, and then up top, fellas.
You were first, Dan.
I agree with what Shaq said earlier on about Kiefer Moore playing up there. I think personally, if it was me, I would go with it's a tough one, Cannon and Campbell, because I do think that'll happen. I think he's playing more now, and he'll play more again potentially on Saturday. I think that's what he'll do. But I think that my two personally would be Cannon and Campbell.
Interesting, Shax.
I'd go Kiefer Moore and Tyrese Campbell.
Yeah. No place for Callum O'Hare then. What?
I think
he can sit aside of me and stand.
I think it's really tough. I think it's really tough for Cal in a four-man midfield because he's not a winger. He's not a central midfielder. He's just busy playing off a forward. So I think it is a tough one. That one. Where you fit him into a four-man midfield. I mean, I do think he played wide at Coventry in their system, but I'm just not so sure he's a winger in a 4-4-2.
Okay. Two strong lineups there, though. Let us know, though, in the comments whether you disagree with anything. And then the lads have said, as you have been doing all throughout this season. Right, thanks so much for them. Blackburn game then. What does he go? How does he handle this one, Dan? Does he rest? Does he rest these key players? Because it's only going to be 6 days away the first leg, isn't it?
I think he's similar to. I think it's similar to Stoke. I think you make a couple of changes. If you're going to have Burrows in, you're going to start him on bench. If you're going to have Amer in, you're not going to have him in squad. Same as Jez. It depends which way you want to go in the away. Like I've just spoke about. I think Jez might play. Jez and Raksaki might play on Sunday, and brereton-diaz might not. I don't know. It's a tough one to call because personally, I think I know he wants to get to 94 points or whatever it is, 92 if we're splitting hairs with 2-point deduction. But it depends what he wants from it. Personally, I'd change me this time. I'd Adam Davis, so that Cooper don't get an elbow in head or something like that. You just never know what can happen. But I don't know, mate. I think just do what we did overnight. Just make them few changes. You can bring O'Hare in this time. You could change that up a little bit.
Souza definitely not be playing.
I think you could bring Alfie Gilchrist in at right back. So there's all sorts of options, but I think you've got to do what you did overnight. You've got to leave your players like Gus Hamer your Jezman Ratsakis and people like that. Maybe even resting L this time and put Holding in.
Okay.
Or Robinson this time, however you want to do it. Look like that. And just keep switching it around, and then when we get into the playoffs, that's when all serious stuff starts.
Good stuff. If Blackburn do win, of course, then it's maybe likely that you play them again in the semi-finals as well, which would be a weird twist of fate, wouldn't it? Right. Cheers for that. Before we move on, this week there's been a lots of talk about Wilder, and particularly Patrick Bamford's and his chance about it. What have you made of it all? Shax Wilder himself did come out and say, "Look, it's part of football. I give it out. I take it," and he's actually come out, I think, looking quite good following that interview. You any problems with what Bamford and others were singing?
No. If you like Wilder said, if you give it, you got to take it, haven't you? You teach your kids that, don't you? If you're old enough to get it out or big enough to get it out, whatever, you're big enough to take it back. But it's obviously he's touched a nerve, or they wouldn't be even mentioning him, would they? So he's obviously doing what Wilder's getting, what reaction he wants, because they're still talking about him. There's 300 million of them, or whatever it is, in centre of Leeds, all singing Wilder is a. You know what? So Chris is still in their hearts, isn't he, bless him? So he's got what he wants, Wilder, and then Leeds fans have got what they want, haven't they? A little sing song about Sheffield United managers. So it is what it is. I agree with Wilder 100%. If you're going to give it, you got to take it, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, let's look ahead to the summer a little bit now. We're giving you a couple of wishes. First of all, kits wise, I think you've had some really lovely kits this season. You might disagree. Dan, anything you want particularly on next season's designs, colours for the away kit? Things you've not been happy with this season?
Don't really bother me. I'm not one for buying them. I'll be honest. I'm not really that fussed. What they rock up in, whatever they rock up in, as long as we do well in it, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not one for being that bothered, to be honest.
Right. Good answer. Shax.
They could have this one, couldn't they? Could have laces back. Thinking that's a popular one, what everybody likes. I'd like to see us in as yellow away. I think we're tilted to yellow.
Yeah.
That's been one of my favourite colours for a United away shirt, yellow or white. But I think we're just having that white one. I'd go with yellow one. Black and green thing they had this year, I weren't too bothered. It looked a bit like woman's kit. That it weren't for me, that. So I'd go with red and white
I think that
or
cream
yellow.
one. I think that other away one were nice this year. They're like cream coloured one.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that cream and white one.
Yeah.
Only problem with that is that I bought my son one and it lasted one wear because they're not for kids then. You can't be having white and cream away kits and then banging them on kids. No chance.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. I know you can't get that stupid cat off the front as well, unlikely, but if you can, that would be great as well. What else for the summer would we like then, Dan? If I can give you a wish, we don't know which league you're in yet, but what would you like the club to do in anything in terms of
I think
home match experiences or players or just how communication
personally,
is?
I think because we've been so successful with his academy, I'd like that to go to Cat 1 as soon as possible. I think again our under-21s won their development league for 5th year running, so I think there's got to be a little bit more that we try and push that forward as much as we can and get into that. But it's just going to be interesting. You've just got to keep making your squad better, haven't you? Regardless of what division you're in. If you're in Championship, you've just got to try and improve it. And if you're in Premier League, we know what sort of jump that is, and you've just got to do what you can do. But I think every year now, with the backing we've got from the new owners, I think every year we're going to improve. We're going to improve in every window, really. So it's going to be an interesting one. Whether we go, whether we stay down, I think you'll see us spend a little bit more money and a better calibre of player. And I mean, again, just going off tangent a little bit. You see how well we've done this season, and we've thrown a squad together, and we could potentially finish on 92-94 points, and I think the squad's better than last year. So I think we just got to keep improving and trying to just bridge that gap. If we do go, every club's going to be in the same boat, and that's just what I want to see. Just keep improving your squad, but more importantly for me, get into that Cat 1 status and just keep developing them young players, because we've got some fantastic prospects coming through. I mean, it was nice to see Willis score for Newcastle as well yesterday, so that's another good thing for us. But just keep producing them players. With what we've done this season, is it 4 or 3? Andre Brooks, really, mainly, Sidney Peck, Femi Sirike. So it keeps getting better and better. So we've just got to keep doing that, and that's where our future is for me.
Okay. Shax, anything you want to see over the summer?
Wednesday go out of business.
And that as well. I left that one for him.
Okay.
Yeah, chance here just to run him into the ground. HMRC lock the ground up, something like that. That'd be nice. But now, on a serious note, I'd like to see them go out of business. And like I said to you last week, I genuinely mean it. I'm not too bothered about going up. I'd be just as happy if I'm looking at fixtures for next season and the Championship fixtures, rather than trying to pick how you're going to get 3 points out of your first 10 games. It's just pointless. I'm reading something today in paper about Ipswich have spent 150 million this season, and they've just got tonked every week. Don't matter whether Ed Sheeran sat there or not, they get battered every week. That's the kind of money that you've got to even begin to chuck it at. I don't think. I'm guessing our new owners ain't got that money. I wouldn't expect them to chuck that at it, to be honest. So if that's what awaits you, let me I'd rather be in Championship next season. But I've said that before. I'm not just saying it for effect. I genuinely think this is best league for us to be in, and I've got no interest in going to Man City and conceding 9 and 7 at home to Villa, and it's just pointless. So yeah.
I think it's like you said, Shax, in it, and I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, I want to be in Premier League every year if we possibly can and compete, but you even look at the gap from Ipswich to, is it Wolves or Everton? I think it's something like 17, 18 points. They don't even need to turn up. You can just turn up, lose, and that's where you're at, regardless of what you spend. So whoever goes, I mean, I think Leeds have probably got a chance of staying up if they go up, because they're a big pull for players. When you can attack players like Junior Firpo in Championship and players like that, they might be one of them teams that get a bit of good fortune and stay up. But it's happened with Forest. It's happened with Forest, and Steve Cooper went and chuck 200 million. It got lucky, and look where they are. Lost in cup semi-final today, and fair play. But for me, going up, getting your parachute money, coming back, that being a yo-yo, just trying to improve. Even if it takes us 10 years to have 2 years up there. If it takes us 10 years to get, you know what I mean?
I'm like you though, Dan. I've seen us in 4 different leagues. I don't care. I don't care whether we're away at Exeter or we're away at Spurs. I'm watching Sheffield United either way, so I'm not bothered. But I'm a bit, as I've got older, I'm a bit different now. I take my kids, and I can't sit with my son at side of me. You know what I mean? And explain to him why Newcastle have just scored their 8th goal. You know what I mean? Or what? Dad, why are we going home at 43rd minute? Well, because we're 4-0 down, son. It's just for me, it's just pointless. But people seem to get attracted. If you're established in that league, you've just mentioned your Wolves, your Evertons, it's all right for them because they're established Premier League clubs. If they want to sit and fight 15, 16, 17 fight every season, and that's what floats their boat, you know what I mean? Then fair play to them. But the gulf then to Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester it's just massive. You know what I mean? You'd back Everton to smash Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton every day a week, wouldn't you? You'd back Wolves till, you'd back West Ham till, you'd back Man United till, you'd back Tottenham till, and they're the clubs what are just outside that mini league, what's down at bottom. So, how can that be an answer to it? Do you want to go up and be part of that bottom 3 scrap to decide who gets 3 points away from home and who doesn't? What? I don't get it. I don't understand why.
look at two teams you've just mentioned there in that, and it's crazy to mention Tottenham and Man United, and you've got your Brightons, your Bournemouths, your Fulhams just outside Europa. It's absolutely crazy where that league.
You're not catching them up until transfer windows. End of
You
story.
know,
So it's
you know,
pointless.
you look at how that's catapulted. And no disrespect, Mark, when I said it, but that's why I think Everton's been quite fortunate over the last few years, because there's been teams that have come up and around them, and you know, they've done all right this year, to be fair to them, but they've been fortunate that bags of rubbish like us and other teams come around and
we're very.
You know, Wolves were pretty much the same as well last year, and they've improved a lot under their new manager. But it is a huge step. But if we get to play a final, I won't be going to Wembley to see us lose. I'd be going to see us win. But like Shaq said, I'd also watch us if we were playing in conference and we were going to Forest Green on a cold Tuesday night. You know, and finish 20th in conference. It's totally irrelevant. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, for me, summer we just keep building that academy, keep improving that academy, and see where it gets us, because I think that's the biggest thing for us.
Brilliant. And you're absolutely right. Yeah, we've been horrendously lucky that we've had some showers for the last 4 years. Right. Last question then this week. Then it's the final home game of the regular season, of course, this week. So we have to ask you, what's been your favourite of the 22 other ones so far? Just at Bramall Lane, this Shax, we did the away trips last week. So Shax, what's been the best?
Middlesbrough. My lad with mascot, we played really well. Night game, I think night games are always better. It was going to be between Middlesbrough and Coventry, but just because the fact that my lad were obviously at mascot, and that at that time I think we needed that win. So I'd go Middlesbrough.
Well, Dan?
Yeah, I'd agree with Shax on that. I'd also raise him Coventry with Axe. I thought we were very, very good against Coventry. As well, I thought that night, that to me looked like we were going to be the side that were going to go and, you know, race away and get top spot, because we look really good. And but to be fair, there's not been many top performances. Obviously, beating Wednesday, that's always up there, regardless. Even though I don't think we didn't turn up to any of them 2 games, and we sat in first gear, and we sat in first gear with sandwiches in his hand, and we still won. So. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Cheers for that. Right. Enjoy the Blackburn game. Then we'll be back here next week when we finally know who our opponents are going to be for the dreaded playoffs. Join us for that. Do drop us a like and a subscribe if you haven't yet done so. We're trying to get 550 before the end of the season. That'll be absolutely amazing. Hopefully the whole team will be back, of course, next week as well from the holidays. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Shax. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great week.